Hi everyone. So it's a lazy Friday. It's a beautiful day. We're all quarantined and slowly going mad. And I have a puppy that doesn't seem to want to be put down. Otherwise she complains. So it's 27th of March. Friday, 27th of March. It is now 1:30. So we've got US news coming out as we normally do. And that could change the markets. So what I might do is just see what happens as we go through this. But this is a market scan, and then I might update afterwards. So the last couple of days, I was posting scans where the market set up to go one way, then it reversed. Then I was getting ready on a few to go the other way on intraday trades, and then it reversed again. And so effectively what that means is that there were valid setups. They were just invalidated temporarily, and then the market kind of corrected. So looking here at the Dow, it's set up with a nice bearish candle here, so that's a possibility to short it on Monday. The S&P, also bearish candle here against that and potentially on fib levels. Then the Nasdaq, also this is where it was a bearish candle. We did break below the low, but then we reversed. We've got a bullish engulfing candle, another bearish candle. So there are definitely sellers in the market. They're definitely trying to get into the markets, and I think there's a possibility they're going to succeed on Monday. So I'll be having, and probably from Sunday night as well. FTSE 100. So FTSE 100. Why is this so slow? Come here. So I've got a whole lot of things going on. Okay, FTSE 100 here is sitting up bearish. It looks like it wants to break yesterday's low. It's had a nice retracement, a nice healthy correction. These are potential entry opportunities to the downside. So there are some really good money-making opportunities here. Euro Stocks is doing the same thing. These might actually break yesterday's low today. So that's definitely a consideration. Yes, I am considering going short on these markets. Not ridiculously, same risk or half the risk. Not aggressively, but that's the case. Bearish candle, same thing. So basically on these indices, they're all forming bearish candles. Let's look at Hang Seng, and then I'm going to move on because I want to keep this brief. Hang Seng's already broken the low. So I was looking at them expecting it to do it the last couple of days, but instead it looks like they're doing it today. Then oil. So oil, I've actually taken an entry because if we look at the daily, it's heading lower. There was a nice little pullback into the moving averages, and I'm actually currently shorting that at the moment. The break on the 30-minute of flat levels, so I'm already in on that one. Brent is not looking as bearish. Sorry, I've got so many applications open at the moment. I'm killing my workhorse here. Bearish candle setting up, so it looks bearish, so that looks interesting. So again, you know, in the last few weeks when we've had stocks going lower, we've had commodities going lower, there's a similar correlation as well. Cocoa also looking nice and bearish, and there's potentially entries on the I'm not going to stay in positions on lower time frames over the weekend if there's gapping, but end of day stuff I'm a bit more comfortable with. So coffee retracing back down, potentially to set up to go long. Copper setting up beautifully as a bearish breakout. In fact, for those of you familiar with breakout patterns, this looks to be a very good one on the lower time frames. You can actually see it setting up there. There we go. So there'll be a flat level entry, a tighter entry, and then potentially that. So copper, I'm going to consider looking at getting in on a lower time frame. I'll post individual images into the group for that. Okay, so let's see natural gas. I wish it would go faster. Oh yeah, struggling here, but that's also looking more bearish. The puppy is wanting attention. Soybean, I wanted to go long. And actually it's still trying to go long, but look at that daily. You can see rejection to the upside, rejection to the downside, so there's definitely a battle going on. All right, here we get to the currencies, and we've got a bullish candle sitting up on dollar index at 100 as planned, as discussed in my posts, so that all makes sense. Euro dollar will potentially go short at that point, so these are all interesting setups for next week. Euro dollar is not looking that bearish. Cable was looking bearish. It seems to have recovered. Aussie dollar, with a whole lot of trades on Aussie dollar that I wanted to take, they haven't stopped out yet, but if that dollar recovers, they're going to follow through, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. So we'll see. Kiwi dollar, there we go, setting up potentially to go short. Let's just go straight down actually to some of those Aussie pairs that I was having a look at. So I really like the look of quite a few of them. There we go. So that's all triggered, and it's still looking bearish. Today's candle still looking bearish. So that's valid. Those setups are still good. I haven't looked at all of them. I've just been busy writing a book and doing a whole lot of stuff. Same thing, rejection candle, looking bearish today. So I think that's going to follow through. But that means I wasn't really going mad or crazy. The setups were at the time valid. We've just had the market literally reject one way, reject another, but it still hasn't stopped out. So that's all good. Let's check out Aussie CAD, which I really like, but it had a big candle. So let's just see what's happened with that. Okay, it doesn't. I didn't enter that one anyway because the candle was so big. All right, and then let's have a look at gold, which was looking good on the higher time frames, but looking a bit of a mess on the lower time frames. And silver, so that still looks bullish. So gold is looking bullish, silver was looking bearish, and then we'll check out Bitcoin. Yeah, silver could potentially still go short, and then Bitcoin, and that'll be it. And then I'll pause it and leave it and check it in about half an hour to see what the news is doing. Okay, so Bitcoin potentially setting up to go short. The ones that I like for intraday trading, there was just the one that we saw now, which I forget which one it was. I'll have a look at it and then I'll focus in on that one. So I'll post this in about 45 minutes when the markets calm down. Okay, so just wrapped up looking at the markets. There's no big news coming out other than CAD possibly. Indices are looking nice and bearish, and I'm entering into WTI and copper shorts, and we'll see how they ultimately end up. And then I'm going to be watching the indices until the end of day today. So basically, they can turn in the afternoon and they can close. They'll run until 9 o'clock, so they can completely change direction and finish bullishly, the US ones. But if they finish lower, that to me is going to be an indication of a move lower next week. All right, for those of you who watch this, please obviously look after yourselves. Have a good weekend. Take care and stay nice and healthy.